Hello and welcome to the USA Breaking News. In Rwanda, EcoFleet to launch electric airport transport services in Kigali. The government agency responsible for public transport operation, EcoFleet Solution, is planning to introduce new transport service for passengers traveling to and from Kigali International Airport. The project is currently under study to ensure its smooth implementation before launch. Once operational, the service will operate in two main routes, one heading to Nyarutarama and another to central Kigali, serving a major hotels in the city. The buses to be used will be electric as part of the efforts to reduce air pollution caused by fuel-powered vehicle. EcoFleet's communication officers, Aldo Havgimana, explained that as services will be aligned with the flight schedules. Passengers staying at hotel will be able to catch buses that take them to directly to airports in time for their departures. He added that services will also pick up passengers from the airports and drop them off at various hotels across the city. This initiative aims to make airport transport more affordable, promote the use of public transport in Kigali, reduce traffic congestion, and minimize environmental pollution. The buses will be fully electric. He said EcoFleet noted that passengers who usually rely on taxis to reach hotels from the airport will now have the option of using buses at lower cost. The introduction of these services will not replace existing transport options, but will instead provide travelers with more choices. Havugimana emphasized that hotel and private transport providers will continue operating as usual, ensuring passengers can choose the option that best suits them. In Kenya, a heavy police deployment in Kenya ahead of fuel price protests. Police in Kenya have been deployed across part of Mombasa and Nairobi early today to contain planned protests over rising fuel prices. The Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority (EPRA) recently announced a new fuel price on April 14, with the petrol increasing by 16.1% and diesel rising by 24.2%. A diesel price went up by 14 Kenyan shilling, while petrol increased by 28 shilling, one of the highest hikes in recent years. The sharp rise has sparked public anger, leading to planned protests scheduled for April 21st in 2026, expected to disrupt activities in both Mombasa and Nairobi. According to NTV Kenya, no major protests have been reported in Nairobi central business districts early on, but heavy parade presence was observed. Officers, when seen equipped with helmets, batons, and protective gear to manage any unrest. Protests are demanding to remove of fuel-related reliefs, including a VAT on petrol. President William Ruto had been given 7 days ultimatum to address this issue. In United Kingdom, UK Prime Minister under pressure to resign over Epstein-linked appointment. Keir Starmer is facing mounting pressure to resign after appointing a diplomat linked to convicted offended Jeffrey Epstein in February 2025. Starmer appointed Peter Mandelson as the UK ambassador to the United Kingdom, despite the past association with Epstein. Starmer later told Parliament he was unaware of how close the relationship had been. In February 2026, Starmer admitted that Mandelson has misled the government about the extent of his ties to Epstein, saying, "I regret giving him the role. If I knew then what I know now, he would not have been appointed. On April 20, Stalmer appeared before Parliament again to defend his decisions, insisting the mistakes was not his fault. However, several lawmakers rejected his explanations. Opposition leader Kemi Banoke criticized the Prime Minister, saying this shows either he's lying or he's not competent with. Reba Senator Morrissey also called for Stalmer resignation, arguing that public trust has been lost and an apology is not enough. Meanwhile, reports indicate that Andy Baum and Angela Leina held in private meeting on April 17 to discuss the future of the Labour Party. A political analyst, Tim Barre, warned that Stalmer's position is increasingly fragile, suggesting he may not remain in the office through the summer, with the Labour at risk of major losses in the May 2026 local election. Apple CEO Tim Cook to step down. Successor announced. Apple has announced that Tim Cook will step down as a chief executive officer on September 1st, 2026, ending leadership tenure that began in 2011, shortly before the passing of Steve Jobs. Cooks will transition to the role of executive chairman, while Arthur Revison, who has served a board chair for 15 years, will become a lead independent director. John Thelmos, 51, has been named as Apple's new CEO. Cook joined Apple in 1998 after 12 years at IBM and previously led to the company during the period when Jobs stepped back due to the health reasons in 2004, 2009, and 2011. Under Cook's leadership, Apple grew into $4 trillion company and significantly expanded its services division, Apple Services, which now generate over $100 billion annually. He also championed wearable technology, including the Apple Watch, which captured about 25% of the global smartwatch market last year. However, Apple's Vision Pro, priced $3,500, has struggled to meet expectation due to the usability challenges and limited app support. Slow sales forced the company to scale back production just a month after launch. Termos, who joined Apple's in 2001 after graduating in 1997, rose through the ranks to become vice president in 2013 and senior vice president in 2021. He has overseen major product launches, including iPhone 17 lineup, and has pledged to uphold Apple's core value built over the past 15 years. Banyamulenge protest in USA calls for international intervention in Democratic Republic of Congo. Members of the Banyamulenge community in the United States has held a peaceful protest in Washington, D.C., calling on the international community to intervene over ongoing attacks against their relative in South Kivu, Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. The demonstration, organized by Mahoro Peace Association, drew more than 4,000 participants across the USA. Organizers accused the forces from DRC and Burundi of involvement in killing, targeting Banyamulenge communities in Minembwe and surrounding highland areas of South Kivu. They alleged that coordinated attacks, road blockades, and denial of access essential services are contributing to what some describes as a slow genocide against the Banyamulenge. Protesters argued that the international community not to speak of peace in the Great Lakes region, while Banyamulenge civilian faces hunger, violence, killing, and based on their identity. They they called for the reopening of access routes to markets and healthcare protection of a civilian and independent investigation into alleged crime. Meanwhile, a similar protest were held in Nairobi on April 20, where Banyamulenge demonstrators echoed the same concerns. The same protests also demanded the resignation of Felix Tshisekedi, accusing his government of failing to stop the violence. In China, China building massive satellite city in Beijing. China is constructing a large-scale satellite town in its capital, Beijing, dedicated entirely to a space technology rather than a residential livings. The core section of the project is known as Beijing Satellite Town. Is expected to be completed in the second half of 2026 and will cover approximately 514,000 square meters located in Yongfeng areas within Haidiana districts near China Aerospace City. The hub aims to bring together satellites manufacturers, operators, and tech companies in one place. The goal is to accelerate the development, testing, and launch of satellites, making the process faster, more efficient, and cost effective. The project is expected to boost China's ambitions in a space technology, including low Earth orbit satellite production, space-based data systems, satellites, internet, and next generation 6G. These developments comes as China's space sector expand beyond government's control, with private companies now responsible for about 16% satellite launches in the country. By concentrating expertise and investment in one hub, China aims to rapidly advance innovation and strengthen its position in the global space industry. Thank you for watching.